welcome back to the lab. Lee here. Y'all saw that title too as well. We are talking about 8 new Mandela effects to blow your mind, rattle those nogs and screws up in that head, and make you question your reality you reside in. That is right. 8 new more Mandela effects to blow your mind. But before we do get this going, remember that some of these Mandela effects might not be new to you, but they will be new to somebody else, so please respect that. And at any time you do enjoy this, please remember to hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and leave me those comments down below about these Mandela effects and other Mandela effects you would love to discuss on this channel. Also, before I get this going, I want to give a shout out to the Mandela community. All day long, y'all are amazing. There's a few people I want y'all to check out. Well, I'll check out Miss Sandays, man. She is awesome. She is wonderful. Show her some love. Bring her some of our juju over that way. Subscribe to her. Show her, because she does a lot of research that a lot of people don't see, and we have to give her the biggest thanks. She should be a lot bigger than she is, so give her a big shout out too as well for me. Now, let's get this going. Let's do this. 8 new Mandela effects to blow your mind. We're going with number 8. We're starting off with the Nerf. Yes, Nerf. Nerf for nothing. That is correct. Oh man, that wonderful gun, man. We played that thing nonstop when I was a kid. And we're actually talking about the name of Nerf. Not Nerf itself, but how would you describe these contraptions that you play with? Are they Nerf guns or are they Nerf blasters? Now, if you are saying gun or if you are saying blaster, I want to say you're both right. I mean, I've heard both, I've seen both, but in this case, they have always been Nerf blasters. That's correct, Nerf blasters, never a Nerf gun. I know it's weird, you can look it up, it'll still say Nerf guns, you can do other things that still say Nerf guns. And for me, it is a Nerf gun, not a blaster. I think this could be how we describe things of what it is. It just is what it is. But to me, it has always been Nerf guns, never blasters. But I've had both, I've seen both. But what about you? Are you a blaster or are you a gun?
What you talking about? What you talking about? What you talking about, Willis?
That is right. The world don't move without the beat of just one drum. Well, it might not be a lot to you, will be a lot for some. That is correct. We're talking about different strokes. That is right. And we're actually talking about, Super brought this up to my mind, and it boggled me for a minute. And we're talking about the phrase, what are you talking about, Willis? But we were talking about the phrase of, did he say that through the whole genre and seasons through different strokes? Now, if you're saying, well, yeah, that's the catchphrase. He said, what you talking about, Willis? Through the whole thing. Well, what if I told you that he said that through 1 and 7 of the seasons? That's right, 1 through 7. Didn't say it in the last season, the 8th season of different strokes. What are you talking about, Willis? I'm telling you right now, Arnold never said, what are you talking about, Willis, in the 8th season at all. Weird, huh? Very weird, because I remember him saying it through the whole series of this show, the whole live of this show, and it blows my mind. And he's right. He never says it in the 8th season. What do you remember about different strokes in this whole season? Is this a Mandela folk, or is this one of those that just happened to, they changed something up? But this is weird to me. Let me know.
I'm taking the dog, dumbass.
And I'm taking the dog too. Ruff. sorry, that's a Legally Blonde thing. You know how it is. And that is what we're talking about. We're talking about Reese Witherspoon, Legally Blonde. And we're talking about the car. The car itself. What color was her car? What was her color of her car? And this was a prominent color of herself itself. And as you're thinking about that color of the car, and you're thinking about that prominent color throughout this whole movie, keep it to yourself, because let me blow your mind right now.
This comment legit threw me off, so Giovanni, well done. Legally Blonde, great movie. And Elle Woods is like all pink, all color. She's got pink outfits, pink fuzzy pens, pink purses, and of course a pink convertible. And no, it's black. Like the whole movie, it's a black convertible. which is weird because they say, like, check out Malibu Barbie, and she's in a black convertible, and Malibu Barbie has a pink convertible, like just like the one outside at the beginning of the movie. So crazy.
Yeah, black. Yeah, the car is black. It's nothing against black. I love black cars. Trust me. But the prominent color of this whole movie, of her entire outfit through this whole thing, was pink. I remember the car being pink because she was decked out pink. She was the Barbie pink. She was pink. It was pink. The car was pink. The convertible pink. The pink. I mean, the only thing missing from this movie is Pink, the singer, you know? But no, I remember the car being pink. As you see, it is black now. Blows me away. So many people remember this car being pink. And before y'all jump at me, I know, before you jump at me, I'm not talking about the pink convertible in Clueless. I want y'all to get right to that. Just right to that. I'm not talking about the pink car in Clueless. So let's get that straight. But how do y'all remember the car in Legally Blonde? Was it always black? Or in your reality, like many of us, fighting for that dog, it was pink?
Get him out of here.
Bye.
I'll fix you, Venkman. I'm gonna fix you.
I'm gonna get you a nice fruit basket. I'm gonna miss him.
I'm going to miss him. That is right. We're talking about Ghostbusters. That's right. Who are you going to call? Ghostbusters. 555-2368. That's who you call. Ghostbusters. But we're not talking about all the other Ghostbusters. We're talking about actually that part of that scene where they're talking about what's happening, what's going on. The walls are bleeding in the precinct, and what could happen. You know, cats and dogs living together, mass anarchy. Is it anarchy? Listen.
Coming down from the skies, rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
The dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
Cats and dogs living together, mass hysteria. Mass hysteria. It sounds wonderful. It sounds great. Don't get me wrong. It does. Mass hysteria sounds wonderful. And it does. But just like many others, just like me, myself, and many, we always remember that line being cats and dogs living together, mass anarchy. Now, for this one, to my mind, thinking of hysteria, anarchy, hysteria, we've passed anarchy. We're now in hysteria. We're now at the hysteria point. It just blows my mind because it could be right. You know, we've passed the anarchy part, and now we're in mass hysteria because we got everybody just flipping around going crazy in this world. You know how it is. But in my reality, I always remember that iconic line because it's a famous line. It was one of those great lines. Cats and dogs living together, mass anarchy. It's crazy, but how do you remember it? Do you remember hysteria or anarchy? Now, I am breaking in on this one because I did notice this Mandela effect somewhere a couple times. And I'm talking about the upside down cross, as you see right there, as you saw. And the meaning behind the upside down cross. Now, there's this thing going around saying that the Mandela effect has changed the meaning of the upside down cross. The upside down cross used to mean that it was evil, you know, demonic, you know, the devilish. But now they're saying that it is good. Now, I did some research on this, and, you know, I always thought that too. You know, I guess that's the way society teaches you, is that it's always been bad. But actually, the upside down cross depicts St. Peter. He actually was the one, that's why they represent the upside down cross. He represents it, is because when he was crucified for, you know, his religious beliefs and whatnot, he didn't want to be crucified like Jesus with the cross upright, so he did it upside down. That is why the upside down cross is depicted that way, and is actually meaning good for St. Peter. So I keep an eye out on this one, just because if people are talking about it in the sense that, you know, it could be, might as well keep an eye on it just in case, because you know how this thing works. Sometimes when we think it and we run away from it, it ends up changing anyway.
Carol
Yeah,
and
I knew I
Bryant
wasn't
been
going
dead.
crazy. I specifically remember talking shit about this lady when she passed away.
It is a little different one for me, just because I have noticed this a lot, and it blows me away, and I remember a little bit about her. Now, I'm talking about Carol Bryant, or Emmett Till. If you never heard that story, look it up. It's about these black, these black African American people that lived during slavery times. These white people beat them. It's a long story. Look it up. But we're talking about Carol Bryant, and we're talking about her passing. Now, she passed away just recently, April 27th, 2023. And it's crazy because not just that I heard this story years ago, recently watching Dave Chappelle, I noticed he was talking about her in this story, and it blows me away. Now, I want you to understand that she passed away this year, but Dave Chappelle was talking about her 3-4 years ago. Listen.
And the reason that I bring that up tonight and why it's relevant now is because less than a year ago, the woman that he allegedly whistled at admitted on her deathbed that she lied in her court testimony. And you can imagine when we read that shit, we was like, ooh, you lying ass bitch.
Now, he did that stand-up 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago. And then she was on her deathbed, told the truth. So, deathbed 4 years ago. And I do understand some people make miraculous recoveries. Not the case. That means she died 3 years ago. Not this year, 3 years ago. But how do you remember this? Because apparently Chappelle remembers talking to her on her deathbed, and he was blessed and honored to do that. But yet she passed away this year, April 27th, 2023. Let me know what you remember, please.
Cats are independent by nature, but even an independent spirit needs nurturing.
That is right. We're talking about Whiskers, the food, huh? Yes, Whiskers, Whiskers, Whiskers. That is right. Say hi, Nala, special guest. Mwah. And we're talking about actually the spelling of Whiskers. That is correct. The spelling of Whiskers. Now, I'm going to put these two words up here for you, the spellings of it. Which is the correct spelling of Whiskers? Now, if you are saying Whiskers with the ERS, well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what? You are completely wrong. That is correct. You're wrong. Whiskers is not spelt that way. It's always been spelt and actually said Whiskers. That is right. The AS. What are you talking about? That blows my mind to me. To me, in my life, it's always Whiskers. We've always said Whiskers. Maybe that's just because of us as humans love to just, call things what they aren't. But it was always spelled Whiskers. Whiskers. It blows my mind. You can look up on the internet and it'll still say Whiskers. But it's Whiskers. Whiskers. A-S. Mind-blowing. Kitty cat mind-blowing, to be precise. But how do you remember Whiskers being spelled? Has it always been spelled the way it is now with that A-S? Or do you remember Whiskers being Whiskers with the E-R-S? Let me know. Meow. Okay? Meow, meow. It gets me, man. I just lose my mind. I just want to go out and rock and roll. I'm not a big rock fan, but Metallica, CDC, agencies, they are one of the greatest of all time. And we're talking about Metallica. We're talking about the cover album of Ride the Lightning. That is right. And what was on the cover of Ride the Lightning? Now, I'm going to throw the picture up for you right about when I ask you, was it a chair or was it a bell? Was it a bell or was it a chair? Was it a chair or was it a bell? As I throw this picture up for you here, right there for you, what does it look like? What's it look like to you? As you see, it is a chair, electric chair to be precise. Now, the Mandela Effect has to do with the fact that many people, just like myself, remember that album cover being with the lightning coming down and a bell on it. Yes, a bell, not a chair, a bell. And I know because why? You had as the bell tolls on that album was one of the greatest hits on that album. I mean, besides Ride the Lightning itself, that whole album was tight. But I remember a bell. Many people do also. But what do you remember? Do you remember the bell being on the cover of that album, the Ride the Lightning album, or has it always been the electric chair? Which kind of makes sense because if you're riding the lightning, you're riding it in a chair. But let me know. Let me know down below. Was it a chair or was it a bell? 8 new Mandela effects to blow your mind. A couple of them that make you think about it. Ones that make you crazy, and the others just, man, you can't even believe what you want to think sometimes. At any time that you enjoyed this, man, please remember to hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, and leave me your comments down below about these, yours, so we can talk about them all. As well as remember that y'all keep your mind open because those eyes will sing everything in front of you. Know what I just said? Sing. Y'all go sing a song to good old diva over there. Show her some love as well as stay crazy.
You gave us something we never thought we could have.
And what is that?
Another chance.
I think I heard a shot. I think I heard a shot. I think I heard a shot!